3, gentlemates, and the fans will make it 4. Everyone is feeling LAG. Let's see if Merck and Maven agree. Fellas?
Yeah, I think we're on board with you. Let's get going. I'm excited to be back. But let's talk a little bit about this gentlemates team, because
himself, but then it got weird.
well, now you have like a Priesta and a Kiz, like a guy you could really kind of put up some stats behind. And I think we were wondering, sort of like I don't know, Beans and Lins are like two that jump out where I'm like, they have not really been on good teams yet. If they're on a good team now suddenly, do they really shine? Like, this is Linz's first moment to maybe, I know he was like a Rookie of the Year contender last year, but like that team wasn't very good.
No, and I mean, really, it's really a system to enable him, right?
Yeah.
In this core trio that won a world championship, I mean, it tells you to what Skies and Kismet believe Priesta can do, right? Like, there is a reason they opted for Priesta over Sib, right? There just has to be, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Maybe there was practice issues, whatever it was. They went back to it. They believed in this formula. We'll see if it pays off again.
Well, for those of you maybe new to this or aren't familiar with Woman Down, I mean, it's one of the weirder changes we've had in the history of Call of Duty. Like, you win a world championship, you win it all, you make a change after to get better than already being the best. And granted, that New York team,
close.
They did.
Yeah.
They got second, but it was a really kind of a bumpy road, really, until the final couple of majors and into champs. But yeah, they wanted to bring it back. They wanted to get big Priesta back on the roster, and this is what it looks like. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of with Allie in the sense like this. Okay, I don't know if I would say this is an A+ team that's necessarily going to be battling with the top 3 and your Thieves, your FaZe, and your Optic. I don't know. But is the potential there if they get back to clicking right away and Linz can be that type of superstar? He's just got big shoes to fill, bro.
No, I mean, honestly, I think for me, what I look at this is I think you need Kiz to go back to just be a little bit more consistent. Last year, it was just so...
Not 99 Kiz or 0 Kiz?
Yeah, in last year, I think...
I mean, like the type of schedule. Madrid's different.
Yeah.
or you're a player in sports or esports. Like, it's kind of exhausting, the monotony just of like your league match, all this build up to it. And yes, it is important, but putting some money on the line and having like an elimination aspect to it, it adds some fun. I mean, I know just as a commentator, I will enjoy, like, I know people don't want single limb all the time, but for like an online tournament we're throwing in like this, I love it. Put a little pressure on, a little something extra to play for. Because even like scrims, like, you know, these players are putting up some extra money just to make it like matter more. That's what this is for me.
Yeah, it's what it is. Yeah, I mean, yeah, again, just as soon as we get back from holiday break, we'll have our first one, so should be great.
Yeah, no, should be a hell of a fun time. But what if you take, I know we've been watching some of the scrims. Usually, you know, we're kind of boys with Crowder or, you know, kind of Mud Dog on the Thieves side. We'll watch some of the Thieves scrims, watch some of the FaZe scrims they play against different teams, listen to the players talk through stuff. But, like, what's been jumping out to you? Like, what is the beginning of the year sort of like? You've obviously were a pro player for a very long time, very accomplished. Like, what are you just trying to do to ramp up to this point now where you're getting into official matches?
Yeah, I think, honestly, the first thing really is, like, hard point, just sort of figuring out spawns, right? Good spawn, bad spawn.
Step one.
Yeah, do we have squad spawns? Do we not? You're really just trying to push the limits here when you talk about that, sort of figure things out. If I do this, what happens over here? They're still doing that probably to this day. You know, obviously a lot of search and destroy early on with tournaments is a big thing. And then, yeah, I mean, it's just every single day you're just learning something new. You're learning new spots. I mean, day one's a great time.
It's a million little things. I was watching a scrim the other day for a team, and like they had a 4 down in a scenario, and like afterwards, they're like, we need to figure out how much we can push our limits in those scenarios. Like when we get 4 down, like it's like replicating these scenarios. How far can we get away with it? How greedy can we get? All these little things you're trying to figure out that obviously you'll improve over the course of the year. But now we have a big change to this title as well. Listen, we've had jetpacks. We've had all sorts of movement. This year, Omni movement is going to be the big change. And Joe, I know for me, it's just one of those things that's like, once you played with it, it's like, this should have just been how it was all the time.
No, it feels great.
It feels great, yeah. Right? It's just like, why wasn't I always able to run to the side? It's, like, it's wonderful.
No, I mean, listen, I think every single match, someone's going to get destroyed. Probably multiple times. Really, like, if you remember Jetpack COD tournaments, somebody was getting turned on every single game, if not multiple times. So there's going to be a lot of clips. It's going to happen to everyone.
Yeah, it's just, there's been some, like, when I'm watching, like, it's just sometimes where you, I don't know, you think you're making a sneaky play or you think you have a freebie or just something. It's just a backward slide, a little something quick. You're like, okay, well.
Dude, the animation, not used to it at all. Not one bit.
Yeah.
I just run by those people all the time.
Number of times, I've been in a pub and I just think it's a dead body. Yes, yeah. I get shot. I'm like, okay, a dead body shooting me. Lit.
Yes, great time. So, yeah, you got to get used to the new animations. It's happened to us. It's going to happen to our pro players. So, should be a great time. But I think just in terms of this title, like a lot of these maps, just fast paced. Like we're, you know, Vault Rewind if we get there, or sorry, Skyline if we get there. Like just, there are a ton of engagements. You know, there's obviously good spawns, bad spawns on some of these maps, but hey, you're just right back into the action quickly.
Well, we're going to take a look at the map pool now as you're kind of talking about maps. And listen, it starts like this. I know usually like Spencer or the league will tweet out something about maps. Everyone like freaks out. Like, we only have 2 controls. Like, we need another map in here. Why do we have the same maps? Like, listen, we usually end up adding a couple as the year goes on. There's already been talk of Hacienda. We know that came out. You played a little bit today and ranked played. It was great, right? Like,
yeah, it's great.
Yeah, fantastic. Like, remember how much fun that was back in BO4? Like, there's going to be additions. There's going to be changes. This is just where we start. And yeah, we're probably going to be seeing a lot of Vault. This is what Hacienda looks like, is that's just getting added into the rotation. I think for us, it's after the break, right? Maybe a 2 weeks break, and then this is like when we're going to work it into the action, right?
Yeah, I mean, we can do it right now.
No, I'd be down with it, yes, but players have been scrimming it, Joe, and that would be rude.
Yeah, but I'm still cool with it.
No, I'm too.
Yeah, I mean,
surprise.
Listen, obviously as a league and as an esport, you never know what the maps are going to be like. For competitive especially, and I think, you know, you see the map set this year, and I mean, I think we're lucky to have 4 or 5 maps. Like, there are some, like Red Card, that I think everyone's kind of just like, you put Hacienda in for that. Like, there's some just non-traditional sort of Treyarch maps in this map pool, but...
Well, Red Card probably, if the spawns like weren't as close, probably could.
Every time I see Red Card, I'm just like, why don't I just have Moscow? Let's just play that one.
Yeah. That would work too.
Yeah.
We'll see what else gets brought back into the mix. But obviously, that's always, you know, you get that argument from casual fans or competitive fans every year. Like, in a perfect world, yes, every new map we have is awesome. It's just not always realistic. So I'm always like, if we had raid every year, I'd be okay with it.
Well, the formula is just so different. Obviously, you know, for competitive, like, we do need some spacing, right? Where, like, a lot of the pub maps, everyone's just in these, I want 900 engagements as much as possible to grind my headshots.
Well, that's why sometimes you end up with like spawns that are a bit closer than you'd like them to be as a competitor.
Yeah, so it just ends up it can be tough. Yeah, it can be difficult.
just bashing them together, like Gentlemates and Rocker are about ready to do. Last I heard, they're about a minute out. I imagine if we don't get it solved here shortly, we'll be going to break. Just a lobby issue for the two teams. For those of you watching at home, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for being patient. Being patient is probably going to be a lot of me and Joe and Chance and Miles just talking about Lord knows what today. But it's going to be beautiful, and each one of you is a bright ray of sunshine.
16, man. I got to order.
Except for the people that are just yelling, start the game in the chat. I probably don't like you.
Probably 99% of you, but Joe does like you. He's lying. We're going to take a look at some highlights. This is New York back in 2023. And this is what you're talking about. If you're new to it or maybe didn't see this, what a crazy moment it was. You get a win with Hydra, Skies, Priesta, and Kids. Then you make a change shortly following it to go into the next year. And I mean, I know you as a competitor was just pissed, right? Like that doesn't happen or shouldn't happen. Like if you win a world championship, like,
oh, no, for Priesta? Yeah, I was not happy about that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there is nothing. That man, I think, throughout his career has been the utility man for, 100 Thieves when they were one of the best teams in the world during the BO4 season. After that Yoda phase, I'll do whatever I have to do. He's just a kid that he understands it. He knows what he needs to do. But I think now you're looking at this core, and it's how much – obviously, you give a lot of freedom to Hydra, right? And he is an MVP superstar. But now you're going to individually have to step up.
No, you are. But I think there's a reason, like, those guys go away but always come back or always find a home. Like, I don't know, your Kismets, your Priestas, your Vivids, your, like, Loonies back in the day. Like, they're guys that people want to play with because usually if you're sort of their duo in a role, you are going to perform well statistically. And then they're also kind of like, I mean, it's messed up to say, but, like, they're kind of a scapegoat in a way. Like,
yeah, in a way.
If you know they're not going to usually put up numbers or kind of the scapegoat. But I've been told by our producer we do have game ready, so fingers crossed we might be good to go. If not, we'll blame our producer
We'll talk about
down.
more stuff.
We'll just keep chatting. Thankfully, things are starting out. We've got tons of team changes, new rosters, new cities, new game, new movement, new maps, new everything. So we'll have plenty to chat through. But
I'm seeing fist bumps.
Just a shot of the guys. We did talk a lot about, obviously, the Gentlemate side of this thing. For Minnesota Rocker, it's a weird one. It's just... Is a team that could do well? Sure. I mean, I don't have them in a high tier going into this. It's just... I don't know. You get like half of like the Vegas roster, which we did love like moments from Gio and Arrow. Estriel, like he had some really solid moments last year as well, but it's just on a team that was really struggling, obviously.
Well, I kind of like what the desk talks about. It's like, where is your star power here, right? So,
yes.
I think for a Minnesota Rocker, it's just going to come down to who will step it up this year. All right. Well.
Okay, we just teased you a little bit, home. We just teased you a little bit. It's a draw.
Listen, maybe not. We've been doing this a long time. We were prepped for this.
Yeah. No, we knew this was going to happen. Joe and I talk about our way, and I'm like, listen, it's day one. You always want to like under-promise and over-deliver. It's an expectations thing. As the older you get, just set realistic expectations, and you're okay. I knew it was day one. New title. We're going to have some delays, but we're going to hang out, have a great time, have a smile on our face, and love each other emotionally,
matches started already,
sexually,
and
spiritually.
Yeah. Well, I just think the kickoff land. I mean, Miles and Chance had like a 28-hour podcast.
So we were doing.
I thought it was like a 2-day event, and I woke up and they were still playing.
We were doing like a different launch event, and we're like, I don't know, it was great, nice paycheck, busy, just casting sort of with some fans and stuff, playing against like the FaZe boys and some of our boys that were sponsored by a company, and we had a smooth day. It was a 3-hour broadcast, and like Joe and I were like, high five, Joe, great day. Earn some money. And then Joe, I'm like, Joe's like, they're still casting. I was like, huh? And
I
it's
thought
like
it was
midday.
2 days.
And he's like midday. He's like, they're still casting. I was like, what?
Yeah, I mean, luckily,
like 3, 4 a.m.
Yeah, they just kept going. I literally went to bed and woke up and they were still going. So they had a brutal day one.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no. From what we understand, it was just wrong sides was all we had to swap. And for those maybe not familiar with it, you've got a strong side, you got a weak side. It all goes through kind of your ban and pick process where they get set up with how we're going to play this out. That is very, very important.
The problem is once we switch sides again, though, it's just does the lobby die.
I don't know if this the value
that may happen.
You never know, Joe. You never know.
Yeah.
But this is, again, how it's going to play out. We're going to be a lot of Vault to kick us off for our first 3. I mean, I'm excited to get into as much as I've watched, like, scrims of Hardpoint and Control and stuff. Like, Search is just always, that's kind of my favorite thing to hop in at the beginning of the year. Kind of Search. What it looks like at the beginning of the year towards the end of the year is insane. It usually changes quite a bit. Yeah, well, everything does, I guess. But
and I think one thing with this like Gentlemates lineup, will just be. I think they're just gonna be a tough team to beat. Right, I think they're going to be solid in every single game mode. Like they may not be as good as or as skilled as our top 3, top 4 that we've talked about, but I think the fundamentals are going to be there. They're just going to be a difficult team to beat. And then on the Rocker side, if you're a team who, you know, is sort of in this situation, how do you cause upsets in the CDL? It's normally through that search and destroy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I think the one scrim I watched that had the Gentlemates team, I think it was against FaZe. It was like FaZe's POV, so I was listening to their comms, and like at times they were getting under their skin a little bit, like a little frustrated. Like they were a very relentless team, and like the map, I think they were playing Red Card, maybe talking about it.
Priesta always like plays well versus FaZe. He loves it.
That's true. Well, I mean, team with him, one with them, familiar with him. I'm sure it just gives you a little bit of a mental edge. I mean, that's always obviously part of it, but no, we'll see what Priesta can do against his former teammates this year when we get into that. But now it's going to be what can he do against this Rocker team as Gentlemates look to get their first victory. We are looking to load back into it. Thanks again for your patience. Hopefully sides are correct. Lobby is locked and loaded, and we're ready to get it kicking and cruising here for our map 1 Vault Hardpoint. Joe, I know you've been grinding some rank, watching some scrims just for Vault. Why has this become, you think, like kind of the most popular map amongst, well, kind of pros and competitive community?
Well, it's just it's a good size map. I think every single mode is, well, you can tell plays well. I think that's just sort of it. It's sort of your 3 lanes, but still kind of not 3 lanes.
Because underground holes.
Yeah, underground. But I think it's just a very good pace map. You can make some big plays. Your ARs can get comfortable. Subs have a ton of routes to take.
Well, at least a little good opening and start to get to the point here for Rocker, but it'll be Kismet trying to bring it back inside. So far, so good for Rocker, but a mix in and around the point. Linz, we're going to have eyes on him. He's going to need to hit a new form. We saw the potential for him last year. I was going to say, we need to see some flashy moments, nearly able to hit the movement to get the gunny up there, but comes up a little bit short.
Yeah, I think the big thing just early on, 20 seconds left on this P1. Gentlemates right now, they're going to try to control that right side of your mini-map, right? That's where the good spawn is for that P2. As Geo just trying to get them off time. P1 can just be tough. There's a lot of different angles that you can get taken down from with Catwalk, with Underground. The nades are hitting. Sky's just trying to do what he can. But behind Estriel and Nero, they're already going to have pressure up towards his P2. And one of the things with this is that back spawn can be very sensitive. If you move just a little bit too far forward, the opponents will spawn right behind you.
And some of these kind of 4 hardpoint maps, I mean, I've seen some almost go into time because it ends up like 2 of the hardpoints you're sort of just playing setup for the other hardpoint. Like, right, 1 you're kind of setting up for 2, 3 you're kind of setting up for 4. It ends up with like a decent amount of white time or a lot of contested time. Is everyone just kind of trying to body for our big time? It is a nice break from Rocker in through the front. You're still spawning safe in the back with your Gorilla mates, but this has been wondrous from Rocker.
Yeah, stuns and nades going down. 4 Gentlemates as Nero and Pollux able to take down too. Some great time with those front spawns, but here comes the pinch from number 3 and 4. That's Kismet and Linz, 15 seconds left. And this is kind of it. You know you can play for all of P2 because P3, really what you're trying to do is set up for our 4th and final hill on the left side of the map. So you're going to try to earn as much time as you can over towards pillars, but really what Priest is doing in that number 1, you want to control top art, control that side of the map for our money hill.
Well, it's a couple of things, right? Like, that's a key position, obviously, with getting set up when we're holding here at 3, then 4, but also just kind of that God power spot, right? You have the elevation, you've got the gunny from there, but you've also got a lot to watch. The comms have got to be on point for that player, because there are a lot of ways to leak through, and you've got to deal with all sorts of stuff. But so far, you've got the position you want for your Gorilla mates. You've got a 7-point advantage. Geo, though, trying to fight around the point. He's hitting shots, but not able to get into the actual
and that's,
point.
I mean, honestly, like, you have 3 or 4 dead, but Geo just finds 1, so you haven't been earning much time. Have not been earning much time. His Skies is on 7 in a row, so it's 1,050 for a Hellstorm, which it's a bit of work. It's a bit of work. I don't even know if Skies has it equipped, actually, so he may have had one by now, but it's not on.
Well, that's a little bit different. We've had score streaks, we've had kill streaks, we've been back and forth across some of the titles. Tons of score you got to earn here to try and get it. Is the Hellstorm will see be the one thing thrown into the fray. Linz is ripped down to 50 HP. They've got the kills, 3 through on the feed. Gorilla mates now set up with one of your money hills, and they are locking it down. This is prime position now to get a lot of time. The player in the point gets picked out through the doors, though. That's going to cause a rotation for another player into it. That's the opening you need if you're Rocker. You get one pick, people got to rotate, you move on in.
This is it, though, right? You still have 2 close, spawning very close if you are Gentlemates. So they're going to immediately trade. Number 7 is still there, Nero. He's just trying to buy time, be annoying. His teammates going to spawn up in the middle of the map, but Linz and Skies deal with that. So it was about a tie game. Now it's 20 points, still 25 seconds left. This is why P4 is so important on
and and this is a much better job than I did at P2. I mean, if you're a rocker, both times you kind of break into P4 and you break into P2. This time, if you're Gorilla Mates, you kind of get a little control back, right? Like, you don't end up being a mess there at P2 like it was the rest of the time. You're able to rack up some time, get a significant lead. Kismet's starting to rock and roll. Really, everybody kind of putting up numbers. Priesta 5 and 8, but he was the early rotation guy. He was the one locking down or making sure they could get that time at P4.
And again, this is what you're going to want to see from Skies throughout the year.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You know, maybe last year it takes a bit of a backseat, but he's a world champion. He could be one of the best ARs we have in the league.
I mean, before that, he was one of the most underrated ARs we've ever had. The guy was like a lock for like a 1-2 for a long time. Like, he was very, very consistent. When you talk about just statistically, something, yeah, just wasn't really hitting last year, but hell, you still got a second overall, and you still made some runs late in the year. But for the most part, still a tight one now as we get into our second set. I don't know, if you're a rocker and you're going to bring this back, is there anything major you need to see turn around outside of Estriel being 6 and 13?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you lose the P4. That's going to be the big focus, you know, coming up on this rotation. But you're just trying to chip away at this 30-point lead here at P1 and P2. Get right back to the game. It is not a big lead at all, and they're able to do that. You see, though, Spawn's coming in poolside here for LAG. So they're just going to play slow, give up this scrap time, and try to get into a nice setup.
Yeah, it just feels like the most time if you're Rocky, you've been trying to break, right? That's probably why Estriel's struggling. When you're a sub player and you're trying to find openings on early setups from Gorilla Mates, you're going against ARs just posted. You got AMS lining everything up. It can be so tricky. What are you seeing now?
Yeah, there's that back spawn. This is what I was talking about. You be very sensitive. If you get a little bit far forward, see number 4 is going to back up in Lins. Try to find that player. Gio, he's in a good spot maybe to make that play. But let's go to our first listening of the year with LAG.
I have the P1, I have money. You have money.
Geo's front. Money. Almost you. Almost shot. Oh, I got thrown.
Okay, they're both there. Both absolute. Literally absolute. No one there. Single. I got her. You jumped out. Short. Secure all that time. There's no one out there.
Pull the truck.
He's front. Comms. I'm beginning to secure all the time.
Dead.
Not one spawn behind you. You guys statue on me. Let's be back to apartment. I mean, gun and gold. Alright, Paul is gun, and then there's one guy is gold. One was left.
Okay.
100% was left.
I'm happy with nice. Fucking go.
Yo, left on me. He's on me single.
Top gold.
I'm ignoring him. I'm gonna go con. Top gold. This one for gold.
In the pin on time.
One time. Give me. I'll get your one bullet on the van. Help me, man. On the truck, man. One shot. Nice. Stay alive mid. They're gonna rehab mid. They're gonna keep rehabbing mid. Time. They have a trophy. I'm in upper side now. I'm in upper side.
Pila. One shot, pila. Top gold. One shot. Pila. Okay, yo, medical.
Pillar, Estriel pillar. Pillar vault. P1 near. Alright, take our time.
Yeah,
Make sure we get mid. We can flip this.
I'm trying to get a cat.
Nero is mid. Go left to mid. Yeah.
Look for mid.
He's Paul killing in the hall.
I think, yeah,
Paul killing. Yep, he's coming back to you.
What?
Nice, good shit. Go through mid.
I'm going to left.
Yeah, revolt. I'm going through left. He spawns gun. Nero spawns gun.
Top gold, Gio.
Yeah, nice. Two spawn out.
Big gold.
Go back. One shot.
I kind of like the end of that when, you know, they had like a 3 or 4 down, and Sky's just kind of like, slow down, let's take mid control, let's take our time on this next push. Was there anything you really liked from the comps?
I mean, yeah, it was great. It's just they were getting fried.
Yeah, no, they were.
They are getting fried. And, I mean, Rocker backed into this game, and you had a chance there for Gentlemates to get into P4 and break it, but you responded in if you are a Rocker. And now, 38 seconds left on this hill. You are right back into this one on map number 1.
I kind of like that because sometimes we hear comms when a team is frying. Sometimes you get comms when a team's getting fried. You kind of hear how they deal with adversity there. And, well, they were dealing with it. And now they get a break in. This ends up being a big one because there's still a pretty good chunk of time left. There's about 30 seconds remaining in this point. A chance for Rocker to really get back into a tie game with the late burst here from Gentlemates. A chance to push out this lead once again as we get closer then to our third set of rotations.
Yeah, you normally do not see a clean 4 dead on a P4 break. They just kind of slammed the door on it, as that was the chance for Rocker to get, pretty much tie up the game.
That's on you.
I guess it is, yeah. I love when I hype things up and then it goes the other way.
The caster curse alive and well in our first map, but Estriel, Gio making plays to get 3 down. They'll each get a pair. And you got a bit of a split right now then for Gorilla Mates. Kind of 2-2. You got to deal with them left and right. They deal with one side of it, so it's going to be Priest and Skies are going to try and do it from the other side. It's Estriel that's watching, making sure they have that safe spawn in. And now Skies and company will try and break back on through, but you're getting some really solid P1 time here, and Paulus makes Kismet pay.
Yeah, no, a big part of that is because Skies goes on that long route to try to set them up for spawns for P2, and he's doing that. But yeah, you've just soaked the hill. So now you're going to need to hold on to this position. And this is almost 40 seconds of uncontested time here at P1. Finally, you're able to get up top in the catwalk, but Nero is watching it. There is the angle out of Skies. He's going to try to back on up. Can see Gentlemate's just making sure no one leaking on through, but you take that all day if you're Rocker.
And that's kind of the conversation. Like I mentioned earlier, usually, you know, at least on this, it's like P1 and P3 are kind of about to set up for the next two, but you can't just let them get all the time. Like yes, the rotation's great. Getting spawns is great. You better hope you lock it down now, though, because you gave up so much time. As Skies is now on 5 straight. A spawn comes in the backside, and that's exactly what you were talking about, Joe. The wheels starting to come off. 20 points separating these squads as Rocker looking to burst on through.
They are just very sensitive. You know, you try to get Lins through catwalk to put an aggression on the spawns, but you just push up a little bit too far. Nobody plays deep back. Nobody blocks that spawn, and yeah, now Rocker are on the point.
There's just one where you just gotta have somebody deep. Yeah. You just got to.
You have to. Yeah, like there's like, look at a little staircase right there. They know it. It's just, yeah, they thought maybe they had it blocked. Instead, it allows Rocker to get right back down the hill.
Well, we think this Grillmates team should be a team that's great about the fundamentals, but it's day one. It's day one. A lot to be worked on there, but the spawn does come in for Rocker. They're able to make the bust on through. Now, 204 to 200, and next hard point popping. We get ready for 3. Early to the art rotation. This time it'll be Skies. It'll be him with eyes from up above. It's Estriel now trying to get in underneath and maybe make the play. Did anyone get eyes on him? Number 2 turned in Skies. I thought somebody got eyes, but Estriel's able to find the timing. That's going to be 3 down. Everybody spawning out again over the second half of this game. Rocker, turn it up.
Well, I think you're right. I think they did call it out, but the problem is everyone else died around Skies, right? So as soon as Estriel starts that cross, his teammates push the hill. They push on through. They find a couple of picks. Then he's got all the advantage in the world in that 1v1 with this Jackal PDW. Able to win that. Now, again, you are set up for this P4 for now. You're only 27 points away from winning map 1.
They're so close. Have they done what it takes to close out this map? You're going to need something magical here from Gorilla Mates down the stretch. They got 10 seconds left. You could earn for Rocker right now. Get him about 235. And you're going to have Rocker now set up for this P4. Some big gunfights going to be upcoming. Inside first will be Estriel. 17 to go for the victory. 3 arrows flooding forward if you are Gorilla Mates. Estriel to be the point man. Look for these kills. Try to get in behind enemy lines. Able to take out 1. Take out 2. Estriel popping off late. Now 5 just needed for the W. Kismet, though, going to win a big gunfight on the site. It's a flurry of trades. You still got people battling here. If you're Gorilla Mates, there's 3 down. They got a chance to do this.
Yeah, I mean, you had to spawn. You had 3 spawn up in the back off the Estriel play, but they still get the break. Do Gentlemates, and now, yeah, as you said, you should still win it here. First pick gonna go to Lins. He's just up top, putting shots in. Gio's trying to work the top side to get a crossfire, but they're just getting picked apart from these power positions.
That's what's tough. If there's a change in 1 second here, and there has to be a rotation, you feel okay, but you have to get in.
Through.
You gotta get in.
He got in. Who was that? Estriel makes the play again. He's able to find the 1v1, but they're gonna need to get on for a couple more seconds. Gio maybe with the opening and the double, and he does it. He's able to get it back to that P1, and there we go. Rocker. Take it versus Gentlemates.
I had to get in, at least disrupt it for a second. There was just enough left on the hard point time to get the W for Gentlemates, but you're able to break in. You kick it back to a P1, and maybe a shocker here early on is I think everybody had Gentlemates as the favorites, but Rocker will strike first on Vault. And yeah, I mean, even if you think back to the first set of rotations, I mean, you were set up for what? You had the early set for 2 and 4. If you were Gorillas, and Rocker was showing the ability to break like right away. Like early on, some of the tough hard points. I know they were down early, but they were shown they had opportunities to break. Like the pressure was there.
Yeah, I think just 2 P2s. The first P2 and that last one.
Yeah,
trying to mess that up. If you were Gentlemates, that's really what the game comes down to.
Because the first time he got broken through the front, right? The last time he gave up the back spawn.
Yeah, gave up that back spawn. As we take a look at the stats of what Nero just kind of right back to his form. 34 and 32, putting pressure all over the map on the other side. Yeah, you get contribution really from everyone. You outslay. don't find those key kills and allow a couple openings, and Rocker take advantage.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like that great of a map for Mestro if you take a look like the damage. Like,
No,
only
like the
2500,
plays
but
at the end.
Yes, he had some terrific plays at the end. Remember, he was getting slammed early on, though. He was, well, like 6 and 14, 6 and 13, really, really struggling to get it going. We'll take a look at some of the highlights before we get ready and into a search and destroy. But what a victory. They're out of Rocker right down to the wire. Did anyone really stand out for you? Like from an individual basis?
I think Sky's right away. I think Sky's, you know, at this point, he's 29 and 17. They're up to 30 and 19, but I think just to close this game out, you had Estriel who flips those spawns, but then he also has, what, that two-piece that breaks the game wide open. You're able to deal with this. You get the close spawns, but Gentlemates are able to find their way in through. You see Rocker's just 6 points away, but Gentlemates are like, all right, we can hold it now. But it's a break through that side door that gets it back to the P1.
Just enough. Just enough to get on through. One big gunfight.
Yeah, right. It's Estriel here again that does it, right? He finds this double. Yeah, or he just slides on through. He's able to find it.
Yeah, no, he just needed the one. Really, just the... Even if he didn't get the kill, I think just the contest of time was enough, really, because he was to the second, right? Like,
yep.
maybe 1 extra second they get the tick. Like, it was that close. He just had to get in. It's like a game of blitz, bro. Just had to get on through. just contested for a second, find an opening. He's able to do that. Plus, he gets the kill. We're gonna stay on vault for the next two, but we got a nail biter for our first one. 7-point victory for Rocker. And yeah, I mean, it's hard to call like anything a massive upset right now. Like for me, the league starts now. I know there's been scrims. I know you had one tourney, but like. The game had barely been played at that point. Like, it starts now. And Rocker come out, get the W.
Yeah, no, I mean, nice map one from them. I mean, again, just both teams, I think that second P1 where they find, what, full 50 to 60 seconds got them right back into that game. And then a couple individual plays there to close it out.
Unbelievable stuff. And now we get ready to go to Search and Destroy, which I know for me, like, any scrim VOD I've been sent, watching Hardpoints and Control. Like, haven't seen a lot of Search. And this is where, you can really catch people early on, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is an opportunity. Normally, like, teams who go on to, like, win some of the first majors of the year are typically, like, very good search teams because they just sort of get ahead. Where everyone's focus is, like, sort of respawn, respawn, respawn. If you're a great search team, this is where you can cause early upsets on the season. Well,
it's a difficult thing. You know, we don't talk about it a lot, but, like, you take a look at a game like a Counter-Strike or a League or a different esports. Like, you have one map and mode, really. Like, well, not one map, but, you know, I mean, like, one mode, and you play several maps. Like, it's easier to maybe just have a day of practice where we have 3 different modes, all these different maps. Like, how do you try to go about, like, finding great balance as a team? It's got to be one of the hardest things, right?
No, it is. And you know, our players know that pace changes during matches as well because nerves come to you. You don't want to make any mistakes.
Yeah.
Right? You always see that on Twitter, like, afterwards, sort of like matches always play different. And search is another thing. It's like you can practice this a bunch, but there may just be some things that happen in an official match that normally don't. So,
sure.
A lot of the practice is just sort of learning timings, setups, how we want to play, sort of retake situations.
Absolutely.
Just some basics, but yeah, you don't really know if you're like bad at search until there's a couple matches played.
Yeah, I mean, back who you're playing against. Somebody's working on a break-off they really want to perfect. There's something they really want to work on. Yeah, they do the complete opposite once you come play them. It's like, oh, well, that didn't really help us all that much. But into this round one we now go as Gorillamate's trying to bounce back and even up. Nero wants none of that. He will be quickly traded out, though, as Kismet does get one. Sky's tallies on as well. We got 3-on-2 right now for Gorillamates.
Yeah, and this is going to be a big position. Obviously, this underground tunnel there for Kismet. You can go between both bomb sites. Watch that bottom middle drop as Priest and Sky starting to work towards this A bomb. Normally with Vault, this is really the bomb side of focus, but Estriel maybe finds a timing. Maybe the timing goes against him, and this is what I was talking about. Like, everybody's just going to have a couple of moments where that slide's going to get away from you, and
yes,
you're going to look like that.
Oh, 100%. 100%. There's times where I just, like, lose the person. Sometimes they just hit, like, a long slide, and it's just like, I just lose them.
Yeah.
Especially when it's, like, real close range. Like, I don't know what's happening. I just know I'm dead, and I embarrass myself.
He's like, I got to get this kill quick because I'm sure there's a second one on the bottom right. He's left in a 1 versus 3. But Gentlemates strike first.
Yeah, I don't know if it's really... You think it's going to be like the potential of kind of what we have with jetpacks, just like the individual playmaking ability to just do some nutty stuff, or not? Maybe not quite to that level.
I don't know about to that level, but it should be close.
Yeah, close as you're going to get with like boots on the ground, I guess, right? since BO4, like with Stims.
Yeah.
Estriel getting right in, trying to get the quick plant down. Gio does find one, some shots in from Pollux as well, but he gives up his position. Len's then able to pounce. To a 3v3 we go. Numbers now to Gorilla Mates. As they try to get their second round in a row, as they'll have to look to collapse. 30 seconds now to work this. Trying to work from the outside box. Get an angle. Stun is going to hit, and he's able to win the gunfight. Estriel drops. Gio by himself. Gio drops, and there's the defuse through. And that'll be back-to-back rounds for Gorilla Mates. You got 3 straight for Kiz, 2 straight for Priest.
And this is going to be Vault Search Destroy. A lot of the times it comes down to retakes over towards A. And what LAG do is they just go all the way through that attacking side of the spawn. They allow the bomb to go down. They play for that player over towards back tree. As soon as he's dead, you have so many angles that you can pinch on this bomb site, able to work that defuse.
And yeah, I was talking to you about Search early because you've just been grinding ranked play and asking kind of, let's play a lot more respawn, I imagine, but you were just like, you can get to sites fast. Like, there's going to be a lot of quick plants, a lot of retakes.
Yeah,
it plays, you just kept saying fast. Plays fast, real fast. So like,
Yeah,
right.
there's some bomb placements. If it was up to me, I'd change them. Yeah. It ain't up to me.
Just get him in the studio.
Yeah.
Let him start drawing. Give him an iPad. We've had that before.
Yeah, I mean, Skyline, I think you start fighting in 4 seconds. I'm serious. It's crazy.
Well, Priesta will be your bomb carriers. We'll take a look out to the B-side street push. There, multiple in front. He's got the bomb hay to work with, and he is in trouble. Can't get out.
They know Linz is here, though. Yeah, Linz is already across. They have no idea.
I thought maybe he got spotted for a second now.
He can make some big plays from here. He's able to find the double, but a nice trade from Estriel, so all down to Kiz.
He gives Kiz a shot, though, right? He gets 2. Now on Kiz to clutch. Knock, knock through the door. Wins 1. Gets out with his life. Trade not going to be there. Down to a 1 versus 1 now. Gio. Kiz. Under 40 on the clock. We're bombed down right on B. Oh! Tries to jump top, look down. Angle is there. You get on the board now if you're Rocker.
Yeah, I mean, just great job by Rocker. Nice, team rotation back towards that B site. Priesta obviously gets picked. Linz has a chance to make it interesting and does, but just so much there for Kismet to have to clear. Gio picks the right corner.
Yeah, they both kind of done the same way. Like Escher was like kind of jumping out top our balcony, try maybe get an angle, gets dropped. Same ends up happening here to Kiz, but nearly brought it back, but not quite. We hop into our round 4 now. Kiz, though, still leading all players at 4-1 as he kicks it off. Offense back for Rocker. We're getting right back to poolside.
So this is the opposite look. They went 4 top B. This time they go 4 towards A, and Linz able to hit the pistol shots, but just like that, it's still a 2-on-2.
Skies, though, brings them the numbers. Now on Pollux to try and clutch some nice damage in, but can't finish the kill. Nade not going to do anything. He's on an 0-3 start, now trying to clutch in this 1 versus 2. A ton of time on the clock. Once again, a bomb drops right on a site, this time over at A.
Then you have the AMS. Like, you're just hoping to find a pick here, but it's going to be difficult with all the different sort of angles that Skies and Linz have. They're just going to throw shoulders back away.
Oh, yeah, they're butt to butt. Just hoping he can rip one. Time starting to dwindle, under 30 to go. Maybe just hope you hit a pre-fire.
Yeah, that's really what it is. He wants Linz to like overpeak this, but as soon as he goes, they're going to double chow. There was the double chow, and then right back to the pillar. Synchronized swimming here on this bomb site, but he's able to get through, and he was close.
They nearly lined up perfectly.
I think
like
it was 1 bullet away. Maybe on both of them.
Oh, they line up perfectly for just a second. Lenz, though, with the 2. 1 almost got away from, nearly able to slide out. But then the pistol gunfight win. Estriel's just got to win that.
He should have won.
Yeah, he's just on that bomb. It can be tough. You're right.
Yeah,
you have that extra cover,
true.
but close there from Paul.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to even get that kind of opportunity, honestly. Like, to slide to there and nearly just line them both
Well,
up.
I think maybe like the player shouldering didn't see him slide because maybe he hits behind the bomb, like the angle.
Kind of what it seemed like.
Yeah.
But you'll keep the advantage if you're Gorilla Mates. This time they'll try their odds over at A. Well, Kiz just gets swarmed. So does Priesta. The setup there inside the point just falls apart. Lenz has nearly been the hero of these last couple of rounds. His multi-kills have been the difference. This time, going to have to do it from a 2 versus 4. He's already able to take out Geo. Now, what can him and Skies do? You know, Sky is also known kind of for his S&D capability.
This year.
Really, he's just waiting on Linz. He needs him to make a play here with the sub so they can get inside a vault. But you're watching that. He's able to get away with his life. Paul doesn't want to overchow.
And that's honestly kind of the fun thing about the early skirmishes, that you come down a lot of these 2v2s, these 2v3s, these 1v1s, and you give Linz time to pick them apart. There's another one added on.
Oh, hello.
RC car in, they're able to take that out. Lynn gets some damage in, wants to challenge behind it. Sky's able to get the kill, and that is how you do the 2v4. All smiles there as Lynn's now with multi-kills in 3 straight rounds.
That was a terrible play.
Beautiful stuff there.
I mean, it helps when you get one more kill, and then you got the RC.
Okay, I lied. Maybe it wasn't. Sky's got the other 2, but still.
He uses the RC, and I mean, yeah, you saw it blow up, and that's just going to cause chaos. You give that call out to Skies, they're weak. He slides on in, and I think for Rockter, it's just like, yeah, I mean, Paul can't get picked there, but maybe you have numbers, and you probably just want to get out of the bomb site. Like, they just got picked apart from all the
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, was it kind of Linz's first kill or second kill that kind of was the bad one?
Why don't you spread?
Well, we're waiting to see what's going on. We have a 4-1 advantage right now for Gorilla Mates. I know we can see the game, and it appears that we are frozen currently between rounds. So we're going to wait and see if we're going to be loading back up with a 4-1 advantage here for Gorilla Mates, or what the deal is. We're hopping back to us just for a second while we get them to figure it out. I don't know if the lobby crashed or what exactly happened. That's what it looked like.
Day 1.
They won 4-1. We're done. That's it.
No, it's day 1.
Oh, I thought they said they won. I'm like, okay, Joe, I don't know if we can make those calls.
No, it's day 1. This is just...
Yeah, yep.
It's going to be a party.
Just roll with the punches, Joe. No matter where on your body you're being punched, you're just going to roll with it, Joe.
I'm rolling with it.
Absolutely. But bit of a blunder there. But yeah, 4-1 advantage for Gentlemen. As soon as we can get back in, we will. Thank you again for your patience at home. But yeah, bear with us. Day 1. Early in the title, we're going to have some issues, but that's why you get to look at us handsome lads as we hang out and chat through things. But as it was a 4-1 advantage so far, and that's the only search and destroy we've seen so far, at least officially in the league. Gentlemates were up. They did rely on some kind of bring it back moments from Lynn, some big moments. Like Rocker had some rounds they're in control. Like, it probably shouldn't be a 4-1 score.
No, it should not. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Gentlemates, they do have that. And I mean, I think really kind of what we talked about, what does BO6 S&D look like? I mean, I think like last year, a lot of the defenses were spread apart on the maps. You're trying to find pace with MCWs. I think we're like 4 rounds in a row where the defensive team is running as 4, just trying to find an opening, right? Just flying together. And that's like what we saw in jetpacks all the time.
That's exactly what I was thinking about.